السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, everybody. Okay. Can you guys see the board correctly online?
Yes, we can. I just want to check with the attendees that it's close enough because I know last time there was just an issue where it's a little far away. So
Yes.
if in the chat, if this is okay or if it needs to be adjusted, please let us know now. Thanks.
Does anyone have a problem online with seeing the board? Anyone have a problem here seeing the board?
I think you're gonna. I see it now, but there's probably going to be a situation where it's not as clear. But I think it's good enough for now.
All right, let's start then. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Okay, so was everyone able to find the book okay, or at least the emailed PDF version? Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start off with we're gonna start the book today. Not start off from it, but we're gonna start with the book today, inshallah. So first things first, let's start with a quick review of last week or on Thursday. We talked about a few different things, and one of the important things of last week's class was about getting a quick brief introduction into what Arabic was, what we're looking for the remainder of this class from now until the end of February, what to expect, and just a quick brief overview of what will happen. We started the first part of that. We talked about three different types of words in Arabic. What are the three different types? Ism, good. Fa'il, and harf. Good. These three things. I zoomed over fa'il because right now is not the time for that. When we get into that, we'll talk about that in detail. And then I briefly talked about harf as well. What are each of these things? Just really quickly. Ism is something that denotes a meeting without having without being tied to a specific time. Fa'il is a verb, good, that is tied to time. It is tied to a specific time period. And a harf is hmm? A harf is okay, you're saying in English. Okay, pardon. Sorry. This ear is closed today. I'm just a little sick and I can't hear out of the ear. Okay, so just a little bit louder. Particle, yes, particle. But what is the definition that we're going with? Has no meaning by itself. Very good. Has no meaning in and of itself. By itself, sorry, in and of itself, yes, but not by itself. It doesn't make any sense when used by itself. Then we talked about ism. We started to go into what ism is. Today is going to be mostly about ism, or its plural, asma. I'm going to write that on the board in a second. Ism is its singular. Its plural is asma. We're going to talk about what these different things mean, and then we're going to go into the book to get a practical application of how this works. All right. 5 qualities. What were the 5 qualities that we discussed last week? Good. It has alif lam. Alif lam is 1. Number 2? Tanween. Very good. It has tanween. Tanween is when you have two of the vowels. Sorry? Ooh, I really can't. Majrur. Good. It takes kasra at the end. Okay? I'm giving you a very simple definition for the time right now. But as we go into a little bit of this class and then a little even more into the class after, you're going to see that this is more complex than just that. But yes, for right now, majrur, it takes kasra at the end of the word. Number 4. Hmm? Comes after ya. Good. The ya of calling. Ya al-munada. Um, it comes after the ya of calling. Very good. So something like ya Muhammad or ya whatever, that word that comes afterwards has to be an ism. Can't be either of the other two. And then number 5 is the last one. It takes ta marbuta. Ta marbuta is the is the letter that looks like like a very shocked person. Like something crazy just happened. Right? It's a ta that's closed, the circle with the 2 dots on top. That's ta al marbuta. So that's a quick overview of last week, and what we had discussed. Those are the 5 qualities of um an ism. Now, before going forward, and this is not going again, this kind of following on last week. This is not going to be going too in depth, but kind of what's standing up. Um, okay. Oh, can you see here? Okay, can you see? Okay. These are 4 different words. Abada, abada, abidun, na'budu, abadna. Okay. All 4 of these share what letters? Ain, okay. Ain, ba, and dal. Arabic words stem from one of 2 sources. 3-letter words, 3-letter roots, or 4-letter roots. Okay? Most of the words in Arabic stem from 3-letter roots. Most of the words. There are only a handful that are 4-letter roots, but most of the words stem from 3-letter roots. This is a verb, a past tense verb, but the way that you would say it is ain, ba, dal. It's very, I'm just ready from my side. Ain, ba, dal. Okay, so that's how you would classify the origins of this word, or the meanings of how what this comes out to. Okay, from that you get a past tense verb. This right here denotes the tense and the gender, which we'll discuss when we get there. Abidun is an ism because tanween. Okay, that means a person who is a worshipper, someone who is a servant. Na'budu, like in Surah Al-Fatiha, wa iyaka na'budu. This is a present tense verb because it comes at the beginning. And abadna is a past tense verb because this comes at the end. The noon comes at the end. The the information of describing these words is not what's important. What is important for you to understand is when you look at any given word, you should be able to break down what are the original letters of this word and how how would I know that? Okay, so that is one important thing. That is not a one class answer. Okay, you don't get the all of that understanding just through one class. This is what we will go through in understanding Arabic and what the point here is. The intention here, the hope is by February 27th, a lot of the words that can be derived from this three-letter word or any three-letter word, you can learn to recognize what the three-letter original word is. Okay, or the original root of any given word is. Does that make sense? Okay. So for you to know the meaning of this is not as important as for you to be able to recognize this is the three-letter rule. Okay. This is the exercise for later, but I will give you one example real quick. فضلنا. What are the three letters that this starts with? Sorry, not starts with. What are the three letters that are the root of this? فضلنا. Fad, Bod, and Noon. Sorry, Lam. Here. Fa, Bod, Lam. Over here. Give me one for Al-Kitabu. Good. Kaf, Ta, Ba. Okay? The thing is, if you have been reading Quran, right? I'm not trying to out anybody, but if you have been reading Quran, just the way that your mind works, you will be able to pick this up without me having to teach it to you. Because the word itself will come in so many different forms in the Quran, even though you don't think that you are remembering it or understanding it, it does stay in your mind to a certain extent. Okay? So you will notice different words that have these letters, but they come in different forms. So at the end of the day, this exercise is actually going to become easier and easier once you start to learn, hey, this is the rule for this is the rule for this, X, Y, and Z. Okay? So let me just give you one last example of this and then we can move on. When you are praying, you go down and put your forehead on the ground. What is that position called? Sajda. Where are we right now? Masjid. What are the three letters that are in both? Seen, Sheen, and Dal. Seen, Jim, and Dal. Sajada. Okay? This makes it a masjid. Anytime that you see a meme at the front of a word, more likely than not, it's going to be an ism. More likely than not, it is going to be an ism. So this is just one rule from many, many different types of rules. But I believe this specific rule doesn't even come in this book. It'll come in the second. But this is just for you to understand that this is three-letter word, and it comes in overall, it will be derived into other words. That's why Arabic is so easy for many people to learn, because there are patterns for you to recognize immediately and rules that you can follow. And whenever there's an exception to the rule, it is a very clear exception that either you just have to memorize it or you can it's a different rule altogether, which you can learn and you can apply. Okay, make sense? Okay, 5 qualities we went over. Now, ism has 4 characteristics. All right? An ism, and it's plural. I said it's plural is what? Asma. Okay? So, ism and asma. It has four characteristics, four things that you are always on the lookout for. Now, the five qualities that I mentioned, those are either or most of the time. Okay. You don't have to look out for every single one of the five. Right. For example, if I tell you al kitabu, how do you know that that's an ism? Alif lam. Where's the tanween? Is there a tanween? A little bit louder. Can't hear you. No. There's no tanween. Good. So you are not looking for both both qualities. You are not looking for both qualities when you are looking at whether or not this is an ism. Kitabun has a tanween. Al-kitabu has the alif lam. Those are two distinct things. So the five qualities, you're only looking for one quality to be there in order to know that this is a ism or otherwise. Make sense? Now, four characteristics. Every ism will have these four characteristics. Every ism will have these four characteristics. Now, this is a very, very interesting lesson because after this point, it becomes even easier for you to understand the dynamics of how Arabic sentences are constructed. Okay? How are Arabic sentences constructed? This lesson is a foundational building block for that. So it's very important to remember this. We're not going to rush through it. We're going to go slowly. And I'll try to see if I can come up with a few different examples from the Quran as well, so that we can go over this. Number one, i'rab. Okay? And we're going to say for i'rab, status or state. Okay. Now, just by a raise of hands, have you studied Arabic before this? Oh, all right, hold on a second. We're going to get rid of status. We are not going to use the word status. We're going to use the word state. Okay. The reason why I put both of them up there is because a lot of the English programs in America use the word status. I don't like the word status. Usually when I teach, I use the word state. I only put that on there because I thought maybe some of you would have used that as well. So anyway, I want you to remember the word state. State is easier. Status is like, I don't know, it makes me think of what is a person's status? What is a person's worth? Something like that when I hear the word status. So I don't like that in terms of i'rab. What is i'rab? Now, this is a very interesting conversation. Arabic, in its entirety, has a lot of different sciences within it. It has a lot of different sciences within it. What we are starting off with for this class is fundamentally the science of Nahu. Nahu. Nahu is the breakdown of the Arabic sentence mechanics. How is a sentence constructed? And how can you identify the construction of that sentence? Sarf has to do primarily with the way that a word changes from one way to another. In English, it's called morphology. Nahu is called grammar. Okay? So what I did here, abada, abidun, na'budu, abadna, three-letter word, changes multiple different ways. That's called sarf or morphology. Then you have balagha. Balagha is how to be emphatic in your speech, how to be eloquent. Okay? So those are different things in the Arabic language. Nahu, the one that we're studying right now, you can say a lot of different things about Nahu, but the very simple breakdown is the study of the last letter of a word. Very simple breakdown. So, some examples. You have ar-rusulu. Okay? Again, the information that I'm kind of breezing over because this is not the exact point. So if you don't know what the meanings of this is, if you don't understand what's going on here, that's okay. Nahu, grammar, the study of the last letter and the haraka that is on it. Ar-rusulu. Now, this word having this dhamma, this haraka is called dhamma, on here, denotes a specific meaning for this entire sentence. That is what nahu is. Same thing for tahkumun. Okay, now this is the changing of this will determine the difference in state of the word. That means the way that you pronounce this word overall will determine what the meaning is. So let me give you an easy example in the Quran. Sometimes you read the word, do we know what the word mu'min is? What does the word mu'min mean? Believer. So sometimes you read in the Quran and you see the word, it says mu'minun. But then other times you read the Quran and it says mu'mineen. Why is there a difference? No, that is not gender. No, no. Mu'minuna and mu'minina. That is a difference in state. The difference in state. That is what we're going to discuss right now. Now, there are 3 different states that a word can be in. Okay? The first one, raf'un. Second is nasb. And the third is jar. Okay. Raf', nasb, jar. What are these 3 and what is this? What does that denote? What does it mean? So again, fundamental, we're gonna break it down in a way that we understand it. Okay? So when you have an English sentence, we discussed last week that there are multiple different components of an English sentence. Those words determine, or the way that they're placed in the sentence, determine what that word or that sentence will mean at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Okay. The words in a sentence, whether they fall under one of these 3 categories, and it's only these 3 categories, will determine how that word is supposed to be used in the sentence. So, for example, the word mu'min, right, can only have one definition. The definition is what? Or the translation? Believer, right? That can never change. However, who the word is being used to describe will change. So, let me give you an example here. You have Muhammad. Usually in Arabic we use Muhammad and Zaid for all the examples. So I'm going to do that. Muhammad hit Zaid. Okay. Now, especially if English is your first language, or you have not learned the grammar of English, but you know how to speak it, you're not going to understand you're not going to be able to recall what the breakdown of each of those words are. What any of that stuff that we talked about last week. How does that apply to the sentence? That's okay. I can't do that either. But what do we understand here? Who hit who? Muhammad hit Zayd. That's a sentence. Who is the hitter? Who is the action applied to? Zayd. We understand that right away because That's just the way that sentence works. If I change the way that the sentence was constructed, and I said, Zaid hit Muhammad, does that give you the same meaning? No, it doesn't. It gives you a complete opposite meaning. In Arabic, the word Muhammad and Zaid will have the ending be stationary. It doesn't change based on where the letter or where the word is in the sentence. So if you change some things around, it doesn't fully change the meaning of the sentence. Okay? So that's one benefit of that. Rafa is the object of the sentence. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Hitting.
That's the verb of the sentence. We're talking about Muhammad right now. Right? Because Muhammad did something. The verb could have been anything else, but the name couldn't have been anything else. So this is what you call the object of the sentence. Okay? Who is hit? Who's the one that receives the action? Zaid. So the one who receives the action, or the one who, whatever the object is in reference to, is called nasb. In English, the subject of the sentence.
Hitter is the sub.
So the hitter is the object.
But in English, it's opposite. Right? Hitter is a subject.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. The subject of the sentence, yes, no, you're right. I completely had that mixed up. See, I told you I don't know English grammar. Yes, jazakallah khair. The subject of the sentence is who you're talking about. The object of the sentence is the one that's receiving the action. That is? Kidding. Sorry, I completely messed that up. The subject is who you're talking about, what you're talking about, who the information in the sentence applies to. Okay? The object is the object of whatever is being received by the subject. I mixed that up. So raf is subject, nasb is object. So in this sentence, what is the object? Zayd. Jar is the object of the preposition now. So whatever we talked about preposition last week, something like a word that doesn't either doesn't have a meaning in and of itself, or other things that we'll discuss in the future. This is the word that's tied specifically to that word. That's one main way that we're going to understand that. And the other way is a lesson in and of itself, either next class or next Monday that we'll discuss that. But that is important for us to remember later on. Zaid hit Muhammad gives us a full meaning in its sentence. Right?
What's the Arabic for that? That is normal. If we have
Muhammad hit Zaid. Who hit who? Muhammad.
no hit that.
Muhammad hit Zaid.
What is the Arabic?
But okay, that's a good point. We could put that on here too. ضرب محمد زيدا. So raf, the subject of the sentence, will have a dhamma associated with the word. Will have a dhamma associated with the word. Whatever the word is, it will either have one of the classifications, one of the ways that we're going to do this right now is it will have a dhamma. In this case, it has tanween. So we talked about the three different vowels last week. each of those vowels will fit neatly into one of these three things. Zaydan is nasab because it has the fatha. So whatever the object of the sentence is, will have fatha associated with it. And jar will have what with it? Kasra. Kasra is the only one that's left. So, quickly now, there are some exceptions to all the rules. Okay? Now, before we go into the book, I'm going to share one main exception with you. That is this. Ha, the. Ha, the. This. We'll talk about other exceptions as we come along, but I am telling you that this is an ism. That this is an ism. Go through the 5 qualities. What are the 5 qualities? Is there tanween? Is there alif lam? Is there a ya? Is there ta marbuta? No. Is there what's the 5th one? Is there kasra? No. But still this is an ism. Why? Why do you think this word hada, it means this?
It's always like this. You always really point to some now subject. That's
You always point to a subject. What do you mean?
point this. Asa, right?
Hada.
This, which meaning this.
Yes. Yes.
When you're saying this, then you're always talking about
You're always talking about this.
something.
So you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
I guess that's my guess.
Okay? Anyone want to say something?
it's not also we know it doesn't fulfill. I mean, it's not an action. It's not describing an action. So
Good.
which means not, and also it's not an harf. So
So then
By
technically it should be a harf then.
it could be.
Technically it should be a harf.
Hmm.
But I'm telling you that it's an ism. Can anyone figure out why?
What he said, it's like the meaning is assumed by everyone listening to the word.
Very good. Because it's still understood in usage. It's still understood in usage. So I tell you, or you ask me, rather you ask me, which water bottle is yours? Okay, you ask me which water bottle is yours. We have all these water bottles around here. And I tell you hada. Okay? Or you ask me which pen are you going to use? And I say hada. Or you say which phone is yours? And I say hada. That is a complete sentence. Why? Because the meaning is understood by you. I don't have to restate the entire thing in order for you to be able to understand it. Does that make sense? Therefore, this is an exception to the rule. It's one of the exceptions that we are going to go over. Now, if you can open to the first page of the book, we can start with this. Does anyone not have the book?
I don't.
Okay. You don't have the book either? The rest of you have the book? Can you check your email? You should have gotten an email. You should check your email. You should have gotten an email today with the with the-
PDF.
oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Let me just do this real quick and then I will answer your question. Okay. All right. First page. Page 5 at the bottom. In your notes, we're not going to go over all of these today, but in your notes, I want you guys to make this table or tables. And as time goes by, we're going to slowly break this down. And this is going to be one of the tables. So if you have a notebook that you're using, I would recommend you leaving out maybe the first 3 or 4 pages or the last 3 or 4 pages just for these tables. Because I like to make things easy to list out, write, and memorize. So, bro, that's a very good question. هذا. Does it mean this or does it mean this is? This. Okay. Anyone else? Maybe both. Interesting enough, Arabic does not have what is the term? Can't remember what the term is. The word is the verb to be is a verb.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. So Arabic does not have this understanding. It does not have this in its sentence construction. It doesn't have this word. The word is doesn't exist in Arabic. It is understood in context of the sentence because when you have a word that is rafa' or marfu', another way to say is marfu', then whatever comes after this is a subject, whatever the object is, the word is or are will automatically be applied to that sentence because it just logically makes. Okay, so when you say, for example, this is a book. A book in Arabic is kitabun. You say hada kitabun. This, in literal translation, would be this a book. This a book. But because one is explaining to you how this what the sentence is, what the subject of the sentence is, and the next is the object of the sentence, then what happens is the word is automatically applied. This is a book. Make sense? Okay. So with that in mind, starting off with the first one, let's just have just people, you can start. I don't exactly know. Yeah.
The last cell. Yeah.
Okay. Haulai. Same thing there. Ulaika.
Did you remember?
Hmm?
It's the same thing in both.
Yes, both of these are the same. Both of these are the same. Yes. We're starting with the first page, page number 5. Okay. So just I don't know. Everyone just I guess take one. Just well, whoever's interested in reading, go ahead. I want you guys to practice being able to say. I'll say the first one. هذا بيت. هذا بيت. This is a house. Anyone want to try the next one? Good. هذا مسجد. This is a masjid. Next. هذا باب. Good. Do the next one. هذا كتاب. Next. دقيقة بس. Next. Yeah, just say it, because we're running out of time. Good. هذا قلم. This is a pen. Good. Next, just a couple more. Yeah, just say it. No, the next one. The next one in the line. Yeah. هذا مفتاح. This is a key. Next. Good. هذا مكتب. This is a desk. Next. Good. هذا سرير. This is a bed. And last one. هذا كرسي. This is a chair. Okay. So now we have done the first one. Okay. So let me explain how this table works. You have masculine and feminine words in Arabic. Okay? Masculine and feminine words in Arabic. This is called ismul ishara, or the way I want you to remember is pointing words. Pointing words. Okay? It shows where an object is. Whatever you're pointing at, it shows where it is or what this is supposed to be. So hada means this or this is. You can say it as this is, okay? Or it just means this. And this row is for something that is close by to you, okay? So anything on this table, I would say hada. Hada, this is my phone. Hada, this is a marker. Hada, this is an eraser. Hada, this is a book. Okay? Over here, hadihi. Hadihi. It is a feminine version of the same thing. Feminine to describe something that is close by. Underneath here now is for something that is further away. So if I was going to describe that chair, I would say ذَلِكَ كُرْسِيٌّ. ذَلِكَ. Then on this side, the feminine of it, تِلْكَ. تِلْكَ. To denote something that is feminine and far away. Okay? So I'm going to give you this here just as practice. If you can either take a picture of this or screenshot if you're online. No, it doesn't have to be right now. It can be afterwards so that you can come closer and do it. But I want you to do two things here because you were able to do two things. First is identify where the ism is in each of these ayat. And number two, I want you to show me where the pointing words in each of these sentences are. Okay? These last two are not going to have it. But this sentence you're not going to be able to do today. We didn't get there. But this one you will be able to do. Okay? So if you turn to the next page on page 6, then let me get two people to read. Raise your hands if you'd like to read. Okay? One here. No one? Oh, good. All right. So you'll read the first sentence and you'll read the second, and you'll keep going back and forth like that, okay? So read the first one. Yes. Ma hada. Ma is a question. It means what? Sorry, I'll let you read in a second. Ma is a question. It means what or what is. And it's used for something that doesn't have any intellect. An inanimate object. So, ma hada, and the answer would be, it is pointing at the house. What is the answer? Hada baytun. What is the translation of that? Good. This is a house. Now, another way to ask a question is with this alif with a hamza on top that you see next. Ah. So it's the same thing, but it's asking a question now. So go ahead. Good. Translate that. Hada baytun. It's the same sentence she said, but turn it into a question. If you were to say, is this if you were to say this is a house, how do you turn that into a question? Is this a house? Okay. What is the answer? Na'am, هذا بيت. Na'am means yes. It means yes. And then هذا بيت, we know this is a house. Next.
ما هذا.
Again, what does that mean? What is this? Okay. And the answer? هذا قميص. What is a قميص? A shirt. How do we know that? Because there's a picture of it. Okay. Next.
هذا سرير.
Good. Translate it. هذا سرير.
It's a chair.
Is this a chair? Very good. And the answer? Is this? Oh yeah, you're right. Is this a bed? Sarir is a bed. We just did that on the previous page. Sorry, my head wasn't. I wasn't looking at the picture.
Is this a bed?
Sarir is a bed. Good. I don't know why they have a. Oh, okay. Because of the answer. Go ahead. Good. La is the opposite of na'am. It means no. It means no. So what's the answer? Translation? Almost. No. No. This is a chair. Very good. Next.
هذا مفتاح.
Good. Translate it.
Is this a key?
Is this a key? Yes. Very good. Good. Very good. No. La. هذا قلم. No. This is a pen. And then the last two. Good. Translate that.
What is
Good. And the answer? ما هذا? What is this? Good. هذا نجم. What is that? This is a star. Very good. Okay. So the next page here is for the exercises to practice using what ma is on both example number 1 and example number 2. Okay. It says tamarin on the top. That means exercises. So exercise 1 is using ma hada. Exercise 2 is using the question of turning a sentence into a question and how you do that. So you would answer based on the previous pages. I recommend that you do that. What I will do is I created a WhatsApp group for the class and for my programs that happen at the masjid. And an email is going to go out with the QR code and with the link. If you are interested in joining, I will put the answers there. Just because the amount of people that are here, I won't be able to check everyone's work, but I'll just put the answers so you can check your own work. Okay? So that's what ma is. All right. So each of these sentences will have either a way for you to identify that this is an ism, or it has one of the things that we covered today. Okay, either a pointing word or a question. Just identify what those are, and then I will put the answers on that group chat, inshallah. That good? The each chapter at the end has vocabulary. And starting from this coming Thursday, I'm going to give you a list of vocabulary words that you can memorize. Okay? I'll send it on that group chat for you to use to memorize. Now, a big portion of learning a new language is learning about new words. And since this is Quranic Arabic, we're going to be memorizing words that are specifically from the Quran. Okay? So I will send a page after every class for us to memorize, read it over and to memorize what the meanings of those are. It will be in English and in Arabic. It's directly from a book. And you can read it over multiple times until you get a hang of it, until you memorize it. And they will be used kind of subtly in these lessons. So you will have some exposure to that, what the meaning of the word is, and then they'll show up in this ayah, and then I'll tell you, hey, this is from that list that I shared with you. Does that sound good? Okay, so I'll come back to this. Oh, I erased it. But I told you that there were 4 characteristics of an ism. How many did we go over today? 1, which is i'rab. That's the only thing that we went over. There are 3 more that are very important, and they come into this as well. But we'll get there slowly and slowly until it's properly understood. I don't want to rush through it because, like I told you, this is the foundation of what we need to know. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Sorry?
On the next page, we have to do something with the homework.
Yeah, this is up to you. I'll put the answers on there for exercises 1 and 2.
What are we doing?
Okay, yeah. So this one is it asks you the question,
Mhm.
and then based on what the picture is, you answer the question.
Okay.
Okay? And this one is also asking a question, but it's asking you about the validity of this.
Okay, is it
Okay.
this or is it that?
Yeah, exactly. Read the book?
Yes.
Send an email.
Okay.
Did you register for the class?
Yeah, I just come to this.
Okay. Register for the class and you'll get an email with the book.
Okay. اتصل
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم